Hey everyone, this is Tell the Truth Sports Radio, where I tell you the truth about the Thursday night football matchup between the Cowboys and Buccaneers. And I'm going to go extensively into the NFL season in my next show, but I have to do the preview because of the Thursday night game where the Bucs defend their championship versus the Dallas Cowboys. It's an interesting matchup because the Cowboys were the worst historically bad defensively. They added some key pieces to their roster as far as their defense and their safeties, and you of course you got Lawrence as your pass rusher, but I like what they did in the safety position with Malik Hooker. Getting Malik Hooker was big. And then drafting Micah Parsons, who's he looks like a star. I saw him in preseason. So Hooker will be a big addition in the secondary. Secondary was horrific, but you're going up against Brady, so it's going to be troublesome, and they got their receivers and Brown and Gronk and Evans, so they talk, and you got Fournette running the ball, so they have nice balance offensive line style. The best player, the guy I'm worried about going against the Buccaneers, it's not all those guys I mentioned, all those stars. It's Goodwin. Brady had the rapport. Goodwin's the guy that would scare me if I'm the Cowboys. I would pay serious attention to Goodwin, because Gronk and Brown are getting older, and Goodwin's entering his prime. Evans is a deep threat. But Goodwin's the guy that gets the 3rd down and 8, that he passes the ball to Goodwin. 3rd down and 4, he gets the ball to Goodwin. Of course, he has a rapport at Gronk, but Goodwin is that dude. And of course, if they run the ball, they'll whoop the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys have to stop the run on defense. The safeties that they added in free agency have to show up because they got some good ones. Lawrence has to get some help from the other end on the pass rush. And then Parsons has got to be really good. He's a rookie going against Brady. That's a little rough. But from an offensive standpoint for the Cowboys, this is where it gets interesting, because what about Ezekiel Elliott? He had his lowest rush average he's had his whole career. It looked like he was a little out of shape and on the down. And he was going from 108 yards a game to 98. And it's just explosion. I mean, I would see him catch a screen pass. He'd go 40, 30 yards down the field, and he'd do his little eating routine where he's eating, and he was eating. But the line is back. I don't know if Martin's going to play because of the COVID protocol, but the offensive line's intact. Tyron Smith is one of the best left tackles in the game. So Dallas is set up, and Dak is back, and you got, I'm expecting a lot, CeeDee Lamb to be great. I know Cooper comes and goes, though. That's the one thing about him. You got the tight end, you got him, you got Gallup, who could be really good. CeeDee Lamb's the guy. If CeeDee Lamb turns into a superstar, that makes Dallas offense that much more lethal. And if there's ifs with the Cowboys, with the Buccaneers, what they got, their front seven is amazing with David and the kid from LSU, and their front line with Pierre Paul rejuvenated. I know Giants would like to have him back. And their defense, and they're good, stout on the run. They're number one against the run. So Ezekiel Elliott, if he gets 100 yards, he will have earned it. So you got to deal with that. Their secondary is confident and solid, but you could burn their secondary. See, their secondary is the reason the Buccaneers were 7-5. They got burned. You see in the Kansas City game, they got burned until the Super Bowl, and then they got better and they caught fire. But now, just guaranteeing that, I don't think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to repeat. It's hard to repeat. They got a good team. But remember, they were a Cook fumble away from not even going to the Super Bowl. This would have been Breeze's Super Bowl if Cook doesn't fumble. So you got those factors in. And I believe they're going to be contender. I like the Rams. Rams are my team to go to the Super Bowl. Stafford and McVay being able to game plan the heck out of teams with a very competent, solid quarterback. But the Cowboys are going to be around. I'm going to give you the prognosis on the Cowboys. The Cowboys. I got the Redskins win division. I got the Cowboys as a wild card. Cowboys are definitely a playoff team. Cowboys could definitely win the division. And now Fitzpatrick implodes. I'm switching my pick to the Cowboys. But the defense of the Redskins, they're the best front seven in all of baseball. Football. I'm sorry. They're the best in all of football. Tampa is really good, but their skins, Chase Young and them monsters up front. But Tampa's way up there. They're one of the best, if not the best. You got some good ones in Baltimore and Pittsburgh. Cleveland's got some dudes, but this is going to be a good game. I like Tampa, without a doubt. There's not a doubt in my mind Tampa's going to beat the Cowboys. It should be a good game. Brady will make some plays in the fourth quarter, and the Cowboys will lose. Now, before I go, and they were talking about Brady, and they were talking about GOAT status, I got him. I have Jerry Rice, the greatest of all time. The truth. Jerry Rice, and this is the truth. This is not the truth that makes people feel good. And they're saying, "Oh, don't hate." It's not hate. When you have the access of Deflategate and Spygate, those gates are on that resume with the great resume that he has, 28-3 and all that good stuff. Great resume. But there's also stains, losing in the Super Bowl, but he's won. He's got 7 of them. He's been to a ton of Super Bowls. And the 28-3, that's on the good side on the resume. The championships on the good side of the resume. The comebacks in the fourth quarter, good side. The bad side is when you won a couple of those championships in England, there was chicanery involved. Now you give Deflategate, you give Jerry Rice an opportunity all his career to play with Belichick, one coach. He might have had 7 or 8 Super Bowls with that team. So you got to factor that in. And please don't mention the Michael Jordan thing. Well, look, he got 7. No. If Michael Jordan leaves the Bulls like Brady left the Patriots and goes to the Lakers to play with Shaq and Kobe, he has 9 championships. And they couldn't play. Yes, they could play together. Stop. Please stop. Because if Mike hated losing so much, if he had to supplement his ego to get assists, he would do anything to win. Phil Jackson would have figured it out, and they would have won. They would have won the 3-peat, maybe even the 4-peat, where he would have had 8 or 9 or 10 rings. So you got to miss me with that particular nonsense. But as far as he's, of course he's going to give him the greatest of all time at the quarterback. But I just believe Jerry Rice, Jim Brown, and then we could talk about Brady. Of course I won't. But you hate. Well, if I say somebody's the 3rd or 2nd best player to ever live, that's not hate. Stop with this childish nonsense. I'm just telling you what is. It's not hate when it's a fact. He did the 4 games. Somebody did that 4-game suspension for Deflategate, okay? He served a 4-game suspension. He won a championship that year with the help of this idiot call at the end, but he did his job. That's not his call to make a stupid call at the Seahawks team. He did his job to lead the Patriots to the lead. So I give him that credit for that. But the Deflategate and all the other stuff, you got to factor all that in too. Now let's see what he could do this year. And if he could win some more, I would change my mind. I'm fair, but I'm honest. And this is Tell the Truth Sports Radio, the real truth.